Have you ever stopped for a moment and asked yourself a simple question? What am I doing with my life? Not tomorrow, not next year. Right now, think about it. How many mornings have you woken up with good intentions? You told yourself that today would be different. Today, you would finally start exercising. Today, you would finally learn that skill. Today, you would finally work on your dreams. But somehow, the day slipped away. And when the sun went down, you told yourself the same thing you said yesterday. I'll do it tomorrow. Let me ask you this. How many tomorrows have already passed? 1, 10, 100? Maybe more than you can count. Listen carefully. Life is not stolen from us all at once. Life disappears in small pieces. One wasted morning, one wasted afternoon, one more hour scrolling, one more day waiting, one more year saying, I'm not ready yet. And before you know it, the years are gone. The opportunity is gone. The energy is gone. And all that remains is regret. Here's the truth. Most people are not afraid of failure. They are afraid of starting. Because starting means facing uncertainty. Starting means risking embarrassment. Starting means accepting that you might not be perfect. But let me ask you something. Who told you that you needed to be perfect? Who told you that successful people never felt fear? Think about it. Every person you admire once stood exactly where you are standing now. Confused, uncertain, afraid. The difference is that they moved forward anyway. You see, the world often tells you a lie. The lie is that someday you will suddenly feel ready. Someday you'll wake up with confidence. Someday you'll have enough money. Someday you'll have enough knowledge. Someday you'll finally begin. But someday is a dangerous place. Because most dreams go there to die. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man named Alex. Alex had a dream of becoming a writer. Not a famous writer, not a millionaire. He simply wanted to write stories that mattered. Every evening after work, he sat at his desk. He opened his laptop. He stared at the blank screen. And every night, he told himself the same thing. I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow became next week. Next week became next month. Next month became next year. Years passed. His dream remained exactly where he left it, inside his mind. One afternoon, Alex visited an old bookstore. The owner was an elderly man, gray hair, wrinkled hands, kind eyes. While they talked, the old man asked him a simple question. What do you love doing? Alex smiled. I love writing. The old man looked around the bookstore. Thousands of books filled the shelves. Then he asked another question. How many books have you written? Alex became silent. The answer was 0. The old man nodded gently. Then he said something Alex never forgot. A dream that never becomes action is only a wish. Listen carefully. That sentence changed his life. Because for the first time, Alex realized something painful. He wasn't protecting his dream. He was avoiding it. Every excuse felt safe. Every delay felt comfortable. But comfort was slowly stealing his future. Think about it. How many dreams are sitting inside you right now? A business, a career, a healthier life, better English, more confidence, a life you've always imagined. Now let me ask you something even more important. What happens if you never begin? Imagine yourself 5 years from today. Where will you be? Will you be proud? Or will you still be making the same excuses? Will you be living your dream? Or explaining why you never tried? Here's the painful truth. The future arrives whether you're ready or not. Time keeps moving. The clock never pauses. The calendar never waits. Life keeps going. And every day asks you the same question. What are you doing with the time you've been given? Most people never answer. They simply drift, day after day, week after week, year after year. But you don't have to live that way. You don't have to become another person who spends life watching other people succeed. Because your story is still being written, and the next chapter depends on the choices you make today. Let me ask you this. What if your future self could speak to you right now? What would they say? Would they thank you for taking action? Or would they beg you to stop wasting time? Think about it, because the answer might change your life. Listen carefully. Most people think they have plenty of time. That's why they delay. That's why they wait. That's why they keep saying, "I'll start next week." But let me ask you something. What if next week never comes? What if the opportunity you're waiting for disappears? What if the person you're meant to become is waiting on the other side of a decision you're refusing to make? Think about it. Every great life is built one decision at a time. Not one giant leap, not one magical moment. Just small decisions repeated every day. Yet most people underestimate the power of a single choice. One choice to wake up earlier. One choice to read instead of scroll. One choice to practice English. One choice to start. The problem isn't that you're incapable. The problem is that you've become comfortable, and comfort is dangerous. Comfort doesn't destroy your life in one day. It slowly convinces you that tomorrow is guaranteed. But tomorrow is a promise nobody can make. Let me tell you another story. There were two friends named Ryan and Jake. Both were 25 years old. Both had similar jobs. Both had similar incomes. Both had dreams. Ryan wanted to improve his life. Jake wanted the same thing. The difference was small, almost invisible. Ryan spent 30 minutes every day learning something new. 30 minutes, and that's all. Jake spent those same 30 minutes saying he would start later. One day became 1 week. 1 week became 1 month. 1 month became 1 year. 5 years later, their lives looked completely different. Ryan had new skills, new opportunities, more confidence, more freedom. Jake had the same dreams he started with. Nothing had changed. Not because he wasn't smart, not because he wasn't talented, because he never started. Think about that. 5 years, the same amount of time, two completely different futures. Now let me ask you this. Which person are you becoming? The person who takes small actions every day, or the person who keeps postponing life? Here's the truth. Success rarely comes from giant actions. It comes from consistency, and consistency comes from identity. This is important. Listen carefully. Most people focus on what they want to do. Successful people focus on who they want to become. That's a completely different mindset. For example, don't say, "I want to exercise." Say, "I am becoming a healthy person." Don't say, "I want to learn English." Say, "I am becoming a confident English speaker." Don't say, "I want to write." Say, "I am becoming a writer." Do you see the difference? Actions come and go. Identity stays. People quit goals. People protect identities. Think about it. A healthy person doesn't need motivation to exercise every day. A reader doesn't need motivation to read. A confident English speaker doesn't wait for the perfect moment to practice. They do it because that's who they are. So let me ask you something. Who are you becoming right now? Not who do you want to become? Who are you becoming through your daily actions? Because every habit casts a vote. Every action tells a story. Every decision shapes your future. And whether you realize it or not, you're building an identity every single day. Here's another story. A farmer planted 2 seeds. The first seed looked at the dark soil and became afraid. What if I fail? What if I don't grow? What if the conditions aren't perfect? So it stayed exactly where it was. Safe, protected, comfortable. The second seed was afraid too, but it pushed through the soil anyway. Slowly, painfully, 1 inch at a time. Months later, the second seed became a strong tree. The first seed never became anything because safety felt more important than growth. Think about it. How many people live like the first seed? How many dreams remain buried because fear feels safer than action? Here's the lesson. Growth is uncomfortable. Learning is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. But regret is far more painful. Listen carefully. The pain of discipline lasts for a moment. The pain of regret can last a lifetime. Imagine yourself 20 years from now. Imagine looking back on your life. What do you want to see? A story of courage or a story of hesitation? A story of action or a story of excuses because one day your future will become your present. And on that day, excuses won't matter. Only results will. Only memories will. Only the choices you made today. Let me ask you this. If you knew success was guaranteed, what would you start today? Would you write that book, start that business, learn that language, apply for that opportunity? Now here's the shocking part. The action required is often the same whether success is guaranteed or not. The difference is belief. Most people wait for confidence before they act, but confidence doesn't come first. Action comes first. Confidence grows afterward. That's how life works. The first conversation feels awkward. The first presentation feels scary. The first attempt feels uncertain. But every step forward builds confidence. Every action creates momentum, and momentum changes lives. So stop waiting to feel ready. Nobody feels ready. Not at the beginning. The people you admire weren't fearless. They simply moved forward despite their fear. And that's what courage really is. Not the absence of fear. The decision that something else matters more. Your dreams matter more. Your future matters more. Your freedom matters more. Your life matters more. Think about it. What would happen if you gave your dreams the same energy you give your excuses? What would happen if you spent 1 year taking action instead of waiting? What would your life look like? Because that future is still possible. It's still available to you. But only if you decide to stop wasting the time you've been given. And that decision starts today. Listen carefully. There is something most people never realize until it's too late. Life is not made of years. Life is made of moments. A conversation, a decision, a chance, an opportunity, a single step. And sometimes one moment changes everything. Let me tell you a story. An old man sat alone on a park bench. His hair was white. His face carried the marks of many years. A young man sat beside him. After a few minutes, the young man asked a simple question. "What is the biggest lesson you've learned in life?" The old man smiled. Then he looked into the distance and said something unexpected. "I wish I had worried less and lived more." The young man was surprised. The old man continued. "I spent years waiting for the perfect moment. I thought I had plenty of time. I thought there would always be another opportunity. But one day I realized something. The years I thought I had were already gone." Think about that. How many people reach the end of their lives wishing they had taken more chances? How many people wish they had spoken up? How many people wish they had followed their dreams? How many people wish they had stopped being afraid? Listen carefully. Nobody reaches old age wishing they had spent more time doubting themselves. Nobody wishes they had waited longer. Nobody wishes they had wasted more time. The biggest regrets in life usually come from the things we never did, the risks we never took, the opportunities we never embraced, the dreams we abandoned. So let me ask you this. What dream are you postponing? What conversation are you avoiding? What goal keeps calling your name? What future are you refusing to build? Because every day you delay, you're paying a price. Not with money, with time. And time is the one thing you can never earn back. Think about it. You can lose money and make more. You can lose a job and find another. You can lose opportunities and create new ones. But you cannot recover yesterday. Yesterday is gone forever, and tomorrow is not guaranteed. All you truly have is today, this moment. Right now, here's the truth. You don't need a new year. You don't need a new month. You don't need Monday. You don't need permission. You need a decision to stop wasting your life, a decision to stop waiting, a decision to stop letting fear control your future. Because fear will always have something to say. Fear says, wait a little longer. What if you fail? What if people judge you? What if you're not good enough? But let me ask you something. What if you succeed? What if this is the year everything changes? What if one small action today creates a completely different future? What if you're far more capable than you realize? Think about it. The voice of fear has been speaking to you for years. Has it made your life better? Has it brought you freedom? Has it helped you achieve your dreams? Probably not. So maybe it's time to stop listening to fear and start listening to possibility. Listen carefully. You don't need to become perfect. You don't need to become extraordinary overnight. You don't need to have all the answers. You simply need to become the person who starts, the person who tries, the person who keeps moving forward, the person who keeps promises to themselves. Because that's where transformation begins. Not in perfection, in action. This is your identity shift. You're no longer the person who waits. You're no longer the person who postpones life. You're no longer the person who keeps saying, someday. You are becoming someone different, someone stronger, someone braver, someone who takes action despite uncertainty, someone who chooses growth over comfort, someone who chooses courage over fear, someone who refuses to waste the gift of life. Think about that. How would your life change if you truly believed that? How would your future change? How would your confidence change? How would your dreams change? Everything changes when you change, and change begins with one decision, one step, one action. So here's your challenge. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, do one thing, one small thing. Make the phone call. Write the first page. Practice English for 10 minutes. Apply for the opportunity. Start the project. Take the walk. Open the book. Begin. That's all. Just begin. Because momentum starts with movement, and movement creates progress, and progress creates confidence, and confidence creates a new life. Listen carefully. 1 year from now, the person you become will be the result of what you do starting today. Not what you plan, not what you imagine, what you do. The future version of you is watching. The future version of you is waiting. The future version of you hopes that today is the day you finally stop making excuses. The day you finally stop wasting your life. The day you finally decide that your dreams matter, that your future matters, that your life matters. So let me ask you one final question. When this day is over, when this week is over, when this year is over, will you be proud of the choices you made? Or will you wish you had started sooner? Think about it, because the answer is being written right now. With every decision, with every action, with every moment. Life is moving, time is moving, the future is coming. The question is not whether life will change. The question is whether you will. Listen carefully. You have dreams for a reason. You have potential for a reason. You have this moment for a reason. Don't spend your life waiting for the perfect time. Don't spend your life watching from the sidelines. Don't spend your life wondering what could have been. Step forward, take action, trust yourself, and become the person you were meant to be. Because one day you'll look back on this moment, and you'll either be grateful that you started or regret that you didn't. The choice is yours. The future is yours. The story is yours. Now go write a chapter you'll be proud to remember. And whatever you do, don't waste your life.